Hey there, Cancer Ascendant. This is your Ascendant forecast for the week ahead, going from Monday the 17th of November right the way through to Sunday the 23rd of November 2025. And this is a much more exciting week this week. This is a week where I think we're having a powerful turning point. This is a week where I think it's safe to move forwards finally. I think it's a week where we're going to really tune in to what we're motivated for, and also where we start to feel that the future is speaking to us. You know, like we're all of a sudden tuning in and all of a sudden it really makes sense. It's one of the most revealing weeks of the year, I would say. And there's a few reasons for that, mostly because of how this new moon is taking place. We've got a new moon in Scorpio on the 20th. That's where the sun and the moon come together. It's also on the day of the Mercury Cazimi. What that means is we've got the moon, the sun, and Mercury retrograde all exactly at 28 degrees Scorpio. Now, that's not all. We've also got an exact rare sextile between Uranus and Neptune also taking place on the 20th. So the 20th is a real like turning point day. Uranus in this turning point is also almost exactly in opposition to the sun and the moon and Mercury retrograde. So it's kind of jolting us alive, and it's helping us to rewrite our story to something a lot more unfiltered, intuitive, natural. It's very instinctive. It's almost as if we're turning back the clock a little bit, rewinding our story a little bit to before there was all the noise and all the mess. You know, when we really like remember who we are. Now, I think this is a week ahead where emotional honesty and self-trust is definitely like a big theme. I also think with all this Scorpio energy and the deep dive, which you'll see when I bring up the charts, that we are shedding anywhere that's distorted. So I'll show you. Anyway, let me bring up the charts. And before I bring them up though, let me just introduce myself. If you're new to this channel, my name is Louisa Tanner-Munson. Welcome to Feel Good Astrology. And let me also just quickly say a big thank you to everybody that supports this channel in all the various ways that you do, whether it's regular, weekly, monthly, historically. Can you hear there's a massive storm going on outside as well? It's massive, like watery storm, perfect for this kind of weather that we've got going on. But thank you so much for your donations. It really helps me. So these are the two charts that we've got. This is the first one. This is actually the chart from Sunday the 16th. So it's kind of setting the tone. You'll see that the moon is here. And, you know, as we go from the 16th to the 17th, you'll find that the moon goes into Scorpio. By the time we get to the end of this week, the moon will have moved from here right the way around to here, and it's in the sign of Capricorn. This little not so little, this red mark, this red spot is to show you where this like nexus point of energy is. You'll see Uranus is exactly opposite, and this is where we're going to have the new moon with the sun, the moon, and Mercury retrograde all coalescing, converging at the same point. So it's a real convergence. And also that convergence is working against Uranus, which is shocking us into a new kind of consciousness. I love that. Now, let's talk patterns a little bit, because what you can see here is we've got this kite pattern. And you might see it more clearly around this time. So there's an equilateral triangle as a grand trine. We've also got a minor trine here, and then a line down the middle, like the spine of a kite. Now, kites are really, they're movers and shakers. We've got loads of natural flowing energy going on between Jupiter and Neptune. Sorry, Jupiter and Neptune, Jupiter and Saturn, and then Saturn, Jupiter and Mercury, Venus and the Sun. There's this lovely, beautiful flow. And, you know, Uranus is also part of this. Uranus is, you know, a consciousness pattern, you know, a consciousness planet. You know, he is bringing in a new kind of consciousness that's shocking us, awakening us, and bringing up a whole new way of being. So where is this new way of being? So from your Cancerian perspective, and if when you look at your birth chart, you have not just Cancer in your first house, but also Leo in your first house, in this first wedge, then also it's worth listening to the Leo sign. But this is all taking place in the fifth house, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So The fifth house is the place where the transformation is taking place. The fifth house is about children. It's about the children we've birthed, the children we want to birth. It's also about the projects we're wanting to birth, the sort of creativity that's coming up. Remember, this unfiltered, intuitive you, this instinctive you is coming forwards. And so this might have to do with you wanting to create something in quite a big way and get a bit of a splash with it. I say splash because obviously we're talking massive grand water trines here as this storm's raging. Yeah, this is like a very sort of strong energy for creation. This is also a place where new romance appears as well, because obviously new romance is a birthing of things. It's also very intimate, very sensuous. It's also a place where we go to launch into joy and to feel passionate about life. So this new moon that's coming up on the 20th is very special indeed, because there's a new start about children, or a new start about what we're passionate about, a new start about intimacy, a new start maybe in a new relationship, or a new start for the project that you're working on that you have put so much love into. So it's a nice, sweet new moon for you. It's a whole new story about what you're creating. You are coming into the energy of creation, like remembering that you are the creator in your life. I love this. And these trines are going from the first house about your identity to the fifth house about your creations, and the ninth house about your freedom and your liberty. So you are literally kind of shaking yourself awake to feel more liberty and freedom in your life, and a renewed sense of spirituality. So, I mean, this is really helpful. I love this. So anyway, let's pace through this. So on the 17th, as we're coming into this week, the sun, i.e. how you are expressing, is in the sign of Scorpio. Venus is also in the sign of Scorpio, and the moon has just gone into the sign of Scorpio. Now, the moon is at the far end of the waning cycle, almost coming into that new moon position. So there's not much light in the sky at night. This is a real indication that we're deep into our own personal journey. We are listening to ourselves. Everything outside of ourselves is not really serving us. Everyone's in their own intuitive process. This is a time to be quiet and creative, and to go deep. You know, like Scorpio, if you think Scorpio is ruled by Mars, but also Pluto. Pluto's a god of the underworld. So you're going right down, you know, into those deep emotions, those forgotten desires, and also those hidden fears, like really going deep. Like if you've got fears about the power of your creation, or fears about your desires, or fears about your emotions, it's all going to come up, but it needs the silence and the reverence actually for you to go through your own process, and things are just slowing down. The 17th to the 20th, it just feels like things are slowing down, quietening down. This is a perfect time for a retreat into yourself. And then, of course, not satisfied with Mercury, Venus, and the moon, Venus, and the sun in Scorpio, we've also got Mercury retrograde that's coming into Scorpio, backwards into Scorpio on the 19th, intensifying all of this, you know, and Venus in a trine to the North Node, Mercury in an exact opposition to Uranus, and also trine Neptune. You know, Mercury, he moves between the humans and the gods, like sharing messages backwards and forwards. And so he's getting intel from Uranus and also from Neptune. You know, they are coming into this very rare sextile, you know, and these sextiles come in like 3s or 5s, like in this current series. And the last series of sextiles was in 1966 to 68. So it's a long time ago, like longer than my lifetime. It's like 60 odd years ago, just under. But you know, Uranus in a sextile to Neptune is a change in the vision and innovation. This is, I think, like where our spiritual revelations become a liberation. So there's something really deep that's brewing at a generational level, and it's working. It's being filtered into Mercury's ear, and he's bringing it back to us. To me, this is like in your silence, in your intuitive space, you're connecting into the you're connecting into God energy. You're connecting into something way bigger than what you can understand, and it's coming in via Mercury retrograde. And so this is a time of quiet reverence. So I don't know what it is that you're wanting to create in your world right now, but the 20th is a super special day because we've got the new moon, so the moon and the sun, and Mercury retrograde. It's time for a huge breakthrough, huge turning point. And Uranus and Uranus and Neptune in a sextile. I will be doing a separate show about those, because this is pretty special, especially if you're born in 1993 or in those mid 60s, 66 to 68. It's a big deal. And then on the 22nd, the sun is going into the sign of Sagittarius, and the moon is also going into the sign of Scorpio. Not Scorpio, Capricorn. So in fact, let me just paste this moon out. So the moon's in Scorpio from the 17th to the 20th. On after the new moon, the moon is going straight into Sagittarius. So it's like, the new moon is a seed point where we're sowing something, especially in Scorpio, very, very deeply into the psyche. And then after that, the moon is moving into Sagittarius. It's kind of taking that quiet, private, hidden information from Scorpio, and it's putting it into Sagittarius, which is very future led. It's about the vision. It's about faith. It's about direction. And your Sagittarius in the 6th house, which is about moving forwards and organizing it and creating space to fit it in. And then a couple of days later, the sun is in Sagittarius, and so we're going from the Scorpio time into the Sagittarius time. We're coming out of the, no disrespect to anyone with Scorpio energy. I've got a strong Scorpio energy in my chart. But we're coming out of the dark night of the soul. That's not to say Scorpio's bad at all, but it just takes us on a real internal journey. And we're coming into this renewed faith from the 22nd as the sun goes into Sagittarius, following the moon's path. And, at the end, you'll have the sun and Mars in Sagittarius. Mars in Sagittarius is on a quest. It's like you're sorting your life out. To me, this is looking like you're ready to be creative. You've got an idea, you're birthing that idea, and then you're bringing it into your day-to-day life. No more secrets. It's time to recognize what is really working for you and to move forwards and to integrate it into your life. It's a big deal. And then, on the last day of this week ahead, we've got the moon going into Capricorn just to top it off, and as the moon comes into your 7th house, there's this feeling of emotional bonding, with your partner, if you've got a partner, or the people around you. It's a time when things are calming down a little bit. To me, it feels like all the hard work is done around the 20th. The 20th to the 22nd feels like such a magical space to really, I don't know. I think it's a brainwave of realizing I knew this was what I was going to be doing. I really get this feeling that, yes, I know where I'm going. And anything that is stopping you from doing that is a distortion, and it's time to just drop it. It's time to let it go. So that's what I think this week ahead is for. Wishing you a beautiful week ahead, a beautiful, soulful new moon. You're ruled by the moon. Cancer energy is absolutely about the moon. So have a beautiful time and catch up with you real soon. And if you would like to, explore your chart more deeply with me, so I pay this much attention to your chart, then just get in touch. I'm, releasing my details for 2026 and what I'm hoping to do and how I'm hoping to help people. So yeah, just get in touch and let's see where this takes us. Anyway, sending you loads of love. Have a great one and catch up with you real soon. Bye for now.